Hello children, today we will start the chapter 12 of your book, Light, Shadows and Reflections. The first term in this chapter is light. What is light? To understand the term light, bache, first we must have to go through the term energy. What is energy? The ability to do work is known as energy. काम करने की क्षमता को एनर्जी कहते हैं. The ability to do work is known as energy. This energy has various forms. This energy exists in the earth in various forms like sound energy, nuclear energy, thermal or heat energy, which then another one is light energy. There are other forms as well, kinetic, mechanical, potential energy. All those you will study in your class 9th. Out of these forms, one form is light. So basically, what is light? It is a form of energy. What does it do? करती क्या है ये form of energy से हमें फायदा क्या है? It is a form of energy that enables us to see the things around us. ये वो form of energy है बच्चे जिसकी वजह से हम आसपास की चीजों को देख पा रहे हैं. If I switch off the light, then the material which is written on this board becomes lighter. It is not clearly visible. It may not be clearly visible to you. और अगर ये थोड़ा बहुत visible है भी ना बच्चे, तो वो किस वजह से है? Because the sunlight is coming out of the window. But if I turn to use the curtains to cover the windows, then it will become more darker in the room. So, in the absence of light, we cannot be able to see the things around us. It is the light which enables us to see. So, if someone asks you what is light, the answer would be, it is the form of energy which enables us to see the things around us. Now, we'll discuss the differentiation of sources of light on the basis of their origin. अब बच्चे हम sources of light की बात करने वाले हैं, उन्हें differentiate करेंगे किस basis पर? On the basis of their origin. On the basis of their origin, कहाँ से पैदा हुए? The sources of light are of two types. What is a source of light? Any object which gives its own light or which gives light is known as source of light. On the basis of origin, on the basis of where they produce, who produced them, they are of two types. One is natural sources of light, and other ones are artificial or human-made or man-made sources of light. So first one is natural. Natural means nature, prakriti. The sources of light which occurs in nature and which are formed by the nature are known as natural sources of light. So, the sources of light that occurs in nature or they are made by the nature itself are known as natural sources of light. The natural source of light which gives us the maximum amount of light on which the life depends is the sun. Sun is the ultimate source of energy. हम बच्चों प्लांट्स के प्रोडक्ट खाते हैं, हम प्लांट खाते हैं. प्लांट अपनी फूड कैसे बनाते हैं? फोटोसिंथेसिस कैसे परफॉर्म करते हैं? By the help of sun's energy. So on the earth, sun is the ultimate source of energy. So along with that food energy, sun is also providing us the light energy. The stars, which gives us a small amount of light during night. The fireflies. The skin of fireflies is a protein. That protein reacts with the oxygen in air and that will result in the production of light energy. क्वेश्चन मन में आता है बच्चे, fireflies जिन्हें जुगनू बोलते हैं, वो रात को चमकते क्यों हैं? क्योंकि उनकी स्किन में एक प्रोटीन होता है बच्चों. That protein reacts with the oxygen gas of the atmosphere and release light. और उससे क्या रिलीज होती है? Light. They release the light during the day as well. वो रात की कोई नहीं, बच्चे दिन में भी चमकते हैं. But why they are not visible during day? Because during the day the sunlight is very much more in amount. सनलाइट बहुत ज्यादा होती है, इसलिए दिन में जुगनू चमकते हुए दिखाई नहीं देते. The fireflies do not appears to glow during day. They only appears to glow during night. And along with that, some deep sea organisms. There are certain deep sea organisms. They will also emit their own light, as well as they are natural sources. Nature made them. So these are the resources which are made by nature, and those are known as natural sources of light. The second ones are artificial or human-made source of light. The source of light or the sources of light which are made by the human beings, which are made by the human efforts, are known as artificial or human-made sources of light. ऐसे sources of light बच्चों जिन्हें humans ने बनाया है अपने use, अपने benefit के लिए, those sources of light are known as human-made sources of light. This burning candle, this lighted torch, and this lighted tube light of this room, these are certain artificial or human-made sources of light. This tube light works on electrical energy, and this electrical energy is provided to this tube light by the help of a switch in our room. When I turn off the switch, there is a dark in the room. And when I brought this burning candle to the words, these words are sort of visible to each and everyone, because the light which is emitted by this burning wax will make them enlightened. So this is what the light plays the important role in. This is what the light does. It enables us to see. And these are the sources which we made, which human beings made. For example, this tube light. You can see the word is much more clear to you as compared to this one. This is because of the light falling on these words, and this light makes these things, enables us to. Now we'll discuss the different type of objects, either on the basis of emitting their own light or they reflect some other source light. अब बच्चे ऑब्जेक्ट्स दो तरह से डिफरेंशिएटेड हैं. एक जो ऑब्जेक्ट्स अपनी खुद की लाइट छोड़ते हैं, and due to that light they are visible to us. They allow the other objects to be visible to us as well. And the other ones are the objects which do not emit their own light, but they reflect the light of the source which is falling over it. So first one we'll discuss luminous objects. An object that emits its own light is known as luminous object. ऐसा ऑब्जेक्ट बच्चे जो अपनी खुद की लाइट इमिट करता है, that is known as luminous object. The sun, the stars, they emit their own light. There are certain reactions occurring in them. There are certain blasts occurring in them, due to which they emit that large amount of light energy. The tube light, which is present over this board, is also a luminous source. It is emitting its own light, and due to that light, it is, light in this room, and all the things are visible to us, as this light brings this board visible to all of this and all of you present over the screen. So this is the luminous source which is emitting its own light. The other ones are non-luminous objects. The objects which do not emit their own light, rather than that, they reflect the light which is falling over them. This board is reflecting the light which is falling from a tube over it, from a tube light over it, from an LED over it. And due to that reflecting light, these alphabets which are written on this board are visible to you. So this board, my clothes, my body, the people, the animals, chair, tables, all those sources do not emit their own light. They are visible to us. They are shiny because of the reflection of light. They reflect the light. They reflect the light which is falling by the luminous sources over them. And that is why they are visible to us. So what is a non-luminous object? An object that does not emit its own light is called non-luminous objects. Example, people, animals, chair, table, and the moon. Moon reflects the light of sun, and due to which the moon is visible to us during night. Next, we'll differentiate the objects on the basis of amount of light which can be able to pass through them or not. There are three different types of objects on the amount of light passing through them, and the first ones are transparent objects. In Hindi, the transparent objects are known as pardarshi. That means the objects through which we can see easily, जिनके पार हम साफ देख सके, उन्हें बोलते हैं पारदर्शी. So, transparent objects are the objects through which we can see clearly. Why? Because they allow the light to pass through them. Transparent objects are the objects which allow the light to pass through them very easily, are known as transparent objects. As they allows the light to pass through them, we can be able to see through them very clearly. This is transparent object, bache. These are the light rays. So you can see here, bache, all the light rays which are coming from this side are passing through it very easily. So light rays passes through a transparent object very easily. So due to which the object which is placed here will be clearly visible on this side, as the light rays are passing through transparent object. These are certain example of transparent objects which I am holding in my hand. This is a transparent glass. This glass allows the light to pass through them, and you can see through it very clearly, as it is a transparent object. Likewise, this glass, this transparent paper is also allowing the light to pass through it, and that is why you can be able to see these words which are written beyond it on the board very clearly. So that is the particular reason, bache, why these are visible through it, bache, because these are transparent objects. So the example of transparent objects are clear glass, clean air which is present in this room between this camera and this board, and through which you are clearly seeing this board. So this is clean air, or air simply. The air allows the light to pass through it. Clean water, you can see through the water very easily, very clearly. Cellophane paper, it's a special kind of paper of which the sellotapes are made of, and you can clearly see the things beyond the sellotape paper. So that's a cellophane paper. And all these are the examples of transparent objects. The second ones are the translucent objects. The objects which do not allow the whole of the light part to pass through them. They only allows the some part or some portion of the light to pass through them. Or you can also say the objects which allow the partial light to pass through them are known as translucent objects. If you can see here or observe this diagram, bache, these are the light rays which are coming from the object, and only a few light rays are allowed to pass through that object, and that object is an example of translucent object. Some part of the light cannot be able to reach or go beyond that, because this is an example of translucent object. So the objects which allow the light to go through them partially, or which allows the some part of light to go through them, are known as translucent objects. As translucent objects allows the some part of the light to pass through them, so due to that some part, we cannot be able to see the objects on the other side clearly. The example of this translucent objects is the butter paper which I am holding in my hands right now. Tissue paper which is commonly available at your houses, bache, as well as in your surroundings. You may see the tissue papers. If I place this butter paper in front of this diagram, that this diagram is not clearly visible to you because it is a translucent object. It does not allow the complete light to pass through them. That is why the diagram was not visible to you. It was not clearly visible to you. So this butter paper is an example of translucent object. It allows the light to pass through them, but not the whole light. That is why the objects are not clearly visible. So the example of translucent objects are butter paper, tissue paper, and the grounded glass. That is a special kind of glass which does not allow the whole light to pass through it. Third type of objects are opaque objects. The materials, the objects which do not allow the light to pass at all through them. They do not allow any sort of, any small portion of light to pass through them. As light cannot be able to pass through them, we cannot be able to see through them. This is an opaque object, bache. For example, it is a metal board or a cardboard. These are the light rays which are coming from this side, coming from the left side of the board. As you can see, no light is available or pass through this object. So we cannot be able to see through this object. This is the board, bache. You can see clearly that this is of a lightish yellow or greenish color wall, but beyond this board you cannot be able to see that wall. The color is same on this wall as well. Why? Because this board is an opaque object. It does not allow the light to pass through it. That is why you cannot be able to see the wall behind it. So these are opaque objects that do not allow the light to pass through them. This wooden cardboard is an opaque object. As I placed in front of the diagram, as I place this board in front of my face, you cannot be able to see my face because it is an opaque object. The part at which it comes or in front of which it comes, that part is not visible in this screen. Why? Because it is an opaque object. Likewise, this metallic bottle is also an example of opaque object. As you can see, I placed it in front of no. So no was invisible. Now it is placed in front of it. So it does not allow the light to pass through it. That is why it is not visible in the street. So these are the examples of opaque object. Rather than this, my body, you cannot be able to see the things which are written on the board beyond my body now, because my body is an opaque object. So the examples of the opaque objects are wood, metals, the clay, soil, brick wall, human body, etc. All these are the examples of opaque objects. Now we will discuss an activity to classify the various objects into transparent, translucent and opaque object. As we discussed, bache, the objects which allow the light to pass through them are transparent objects. The objects which allow some part of the light to pass through them are known as translucent objects. And the objects which do not allow the light to pass through them at all are known as opaque objects. जो लाइट को पास होने देते हैं वो ट्रांसपेरेंट, जो कुछ पार्ट ऑफ लाइट को पास होने देते हैं वो ट्रांसलूसेंट, और जो लाइट को बिल्कुल भी पास होने नहीं देते वो ओपेक. So first we'll go with the transparent objects. Out of the given examples, cloth does not allow the light to pass through them. As if I write something here and stand in front of it, then beyond this cloth you cannot be able to see. My body is beneath these clothes, but you cannot be able to see it. Why? Because these clothes are opaque. They do not allow the light to pass through it. So, first the transparent object. Cloth is not a transparent object. Tracing paper is also not a transparent object. Glass sheet allows the light to pass through it. So, it is the example of transparent. Wooden sheet and tissue paper, both are also not allows the light to pass through them. Second is translucent. The objects which allow some part of the light to pass through them. A small portion of light passes through them. out of these these 5, tracing paper and tissue paper allows the some portion of light to pass through them. They allows the partially passage of light to pass through them. And the last ones are the opaque. The remaining ones, that is the cloth and the wooden sheet. These two are the objects which do not allow the light to pass through them at all. That is why they are considered as opaque objects. Now we'll discuss the speed of light. Light travels with a very high speed, that is 3 lakh kilometer per second, or you can say the 30 crores meter per second, or 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second. That is the speed of light. Whereas the speed of sound is quite less. It is only 340 meters per second. That is, in 1 second it travels only 340 meters. So the speed of light is very high, very large as compared to the speed of sound. And a very important phenomena you must have observed in your life, that thunder, the gadgadahat of clouds, and the lightning, the visible light during a rainy day. The lightning and thunder occurs simultaneously in the sky. They occurs at the same time in the sky. But we first see the lightning and then heard the thunder later on. हम पहले lightning देख लेते हैं बच्चे, और उसके कुछ देर बाद उसकी आवाज आती है. Why is it so? Because the speed of light is very high as compared to the speed of sound. तो इसलिए बच्चे जो इतनी दूर आसमान में जो लाइट है वो पहले हमें दिख जाती है, वो पहले पहुंच जाएगी हमारी आंखों तक. बट साउंड बाद में आएगा क्योंकि स्पीड ऑफ साउंड बहुत कम है. So light travels at a much faster speed, so it reaches to our eyes very quickly, and that is why we can able to see the lightning first. Whereas the speed of sound is quite less, so that will reaches to our ears later on. तो वो बाद में आएगा. That is why we heard the thunder later. So this is the reason why lightning and thunder appears at the same time, but we see the lightning first and then heard the thunder.